Hi ladies, welcome to another video. My name is Angela Renee, if you don't know me, and thanks for being here. Today I'm going to be sharing 6 tips on how to stop clashing with your teenagers. Now, I'm not a doctor, obviously, but I am a mom just like you, and there are some things that I've learned along the way that have really helped improve my relationship with my teenagers and have reduced the amount of clashing and arguing in our home. So if you're interested and open to hearing, stick around. Here's the deal. Parenting is amazing. Motherhood is a gift. It's a blessing, right? And parenting is very hard. And mothering, being a mother, can be, and I would say especially when you are a solo mom and specifically a solo homeschooling mom, it can really make you feel like you're losing your mind when you're dealing with these adolescents, hormonally imbalanced, fighting for their independence, teenagers. Clashing with our teenagers is never fun and it never feels good. And there are ways to reduce the amount of clashing in our homes and really bring peace and joy back to the environment. These 6 things I'm going to share today have really helped redeem my sanity, have brought me closer to my teenagers, and brought us from a dynamic of clashing and arguing to more understanding and respecting of each other. So let's get started with number 1. So number 1 is communication. Now, most of us know that communication is the key to any healthy relationship. But when we're communicating with our teenagers, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. We need to be open and honest and share age-appropriate transparency when we're communicating with our kids. They need to see that it is okay to have certain emotions and feelings and even apologizing when necessary, if we're in the wrong. All those things are part of communicating in healthy ways and helping a relationship become healthier as a result of our actions. Listening is a really important thing in communication that our kids need to see us doing. We need to listen to hear and not listen to speak. But sometimes we can get so caught up in what we want to say next that it's hard to listen to what they're saying. So if they know that we are actually listening to hear them, it breaks some of the walls down and allows for more openness in the dialogue. Now, if healthy communication was not created young, then it can feel really awkward and be really challenging to implement that now with a teenager who's maybe really angry or doesn't want to talk to you at all or doesn't even want to be in the same room as you. But as the parent, you can and should create opportunities for communication to happen, and eventually there will be a safer space, and eventually they will feel that they can open up, even if it's just a little bit, and it will grow. It does take time, and it is a process. It's not too late to start. One of the things you can do is call a family meeting together. Now, this might be like, what? A family meeting? I know it sounds crazy, but once a month, once every other week, whatever, but call the family together. It may be dead quiet the first time, but just set aside 15 to 20 minutes and just be like, okay, we're gonna come together. We're gonna talk about how our week was. Let's say you do a Sunday, and how was your week last week? Do you have any homework I can help you with? Did you get everything done? How was your weekend? How are you today? How's your heart? How's your mind? How are you feeling? And you ask questions that are not yes or no answers. Obviously, did you get your homework done is yes or no, but really have that time set aside for just communicating about your week. They may not answer. So then maybe you're just gonna be like, okay, well, my week was tough. I was really emotional. I hated work or whatever. Or maybe it was like, I had a really good week. My boss did this or my boss. You share. And eventually there will be someone in your family that decides to speak up, and it'll grow and it'll progress. So family meetings are a good way to start that. Okay, so number 2 is respect. Okay, respect should always be taught to kids young. But if you're dealing with a teen who is not respectful, then here's a couple things to consider. Are you being the parent? In other words, are you present? Are you disciplining in love? Are you setting clear boundaries and standards that are required to be followed and required to be met? Are you allowing there to be consequences when those things aren't met? That's being a parent. And then secondly, are you giving them room, age-appropriate room to make mistakes and learn by them? Now, it can be really easy to be overly controlling as a parent. I know that's the case for me, but there are opportunities that we can give room to age appropriately, like I said, where kids will be able to make choices and learn from them. You're there to support them in that. Sometimes when we don't allow room for that, disrespect can come just because they're fighting so hard for their independence and no one's giving them room to have that. Okay, moving on to number 3. Making time, intentional time and space for fun with your teenagers. Now this is another one that can be really daunting because your kids are usually like, I don't want to spend time with you. I just want to be in my room playing my video games. I want to be with my friends. I don't want to hang out with you. But here's the deal, you are the parent, so you can require and should require time as a family. One of them is activities with teenagers. There are things that we can do with our teenagers that are fun, but some of the things real quick are like playing games. There are games that our teens still like to play. Usually they're outside, but if you can get them away for a moment to just play a game with you, or maybe it's making dinner together and eating dinner together. Those are big ones. You can require that. That's okay. You are the parent, and that's something that maybe you have to work on within yourself, but it literally could just be getting in the car, we're going on a drive, but make time to be together. Take time away from what you've got going on and spend time with them. That is a way to build a safer space or more comfortable space for the relationship to even exist. Number 4 is pretty simple. It's just showing that you care. Now you might say, well, I'm working all these jobs. I'm putting food on the table. They have a roof over their head. Of course I care. They know I care. Those are things that show that we care, right? But they also need more than that because they're humans and we all have certain things that we need besides the shelter and the food, right? Those are things. But there's also connection that needs to happen. So those things can be done through attending their extracurricular activities. Are they involved in sports? Are you going to those sports? Are you taking them and dropping off? Are you picking up? Are you taking part in anything when you can? And believe it or not, another way to show you care is by giving structure. Teens, they need structure. They need routine just like little kids do. So even if it's not a strict schedule, they at least need to know that they have responsibilities in the home to take care of and that you're gonna hold them to that standard. If there's there's nothing going on in the house, you can do whatever you want, and there's just this flippant attitude, kids can feel that they're not cared for when there's no structure whatsoever, and they're allowed to do whatever they want whenever they want to. That does not show that you care when you let your kids do whatever they want. That does not show that you care. Playing things that they like to play, like if your child, teenager, likes to play video games, then are you willing to watch them for a little bit and just watch them play video games? Hey, I'm just gonna watch you play. Just want to see how it's going. And they might be like, I don't want you in my space because I'm a different person when you're around, or when I'm playing video games. But you can invite yourself into the space and be like, I just want to watch you play. Like I've never seen you play. I know you're out in here having fun. I'm just gonna read my book and watch you play, or whatever. Or maybe play with them, can you teach me how to play your game? But get involved in something they care about. Maybe you watch a movie together that they like, or a show that they're binging. Watch it with them. Talk about it after. It's another way to show that you care about them as individual people who are trying to become very independent people. Number 5 is a really big one to me. Well, these are all big ones to me, but tech breaks. I think tech breaks are extremely important for everyone in the family. This includes you, me. Like, there needs to be time set aside where everyone gets off of technology. Everyone's off of phones. Everyone's off of TV or whatever. Sometimes our tech breaks involve watching a movie on TV, but we also have breaks where no one is on anything. Set aside time for no distraction. It just removes the distraction. Now you might be thinking, well, what are we gonna do when there's nobody is on technology? Well, it goes back to number 3. It goes back to all the other ones. What can you do? You can go somewhere. You can go on a drive and make sure that nobody's on a phone, that everybody's looking around at the things around them. There's plenty to see when you're in the car. Start with 15 to 20 minutes. For us, it's on Sundays. We always take a break from tech on Sundays. We usually turn it, everything can be back on at 9 p.m. at night. And there's things going on during the day. Our family goes to church. We used to have family meetings on that day. We might go out to eat. There are things you can do during that time. So make sure you have something to replace it with. These might sound crazy, but I'm telling you, if you give them a try, they will work. Last but not least, number 6, be consistent. I am one of the last people that should talk about consistency when it comes to life stuff. But when it comes to our teenagers, we have to be consistent. If we say we're gonna do something, then we've gotta do it. If we say this is the rule, this is the boundary, then we have to stand by that. If we say if you do this, then this is gonna happen, or if you don't do this, this will not happen, then we have to stand by that. That actually shows and models and teaches integrity. We want our kids to be integrous people, but if they don't see it, and if we're not modeling it, then where are they gonna get it from? You know the world isn't gonna do it. Social media is not gonna teach them integrity, okay? So it's our responsibility to do that. Those are the 6 tips. Number 1, communication. Number 2, respect. Number 3, make intentional space and time. Number 4, show that you care. Number 5, tech breaks. And number 6, be consistent. If you try any of these, I would love to know how they work for your family. These things do take time. So if you try them one day and expect everything to be okay, that's not the case. That's it for today. I hope that was helpful. Please leave me a note in the comments, like and subscribe, or don't. But I'll be here for another video in the future, and I hope to see you there. Bye.